Not that. Okay, it's gone.
It was
And it's gone. South Park, no one?
Yeah, I got it.
Fuck you
No,
guys.
yeah, I got it. Yeah. That was a really frustrating episode for me.
I know, for all of us.
I watched that when I was in business school.
Oh. And it's gone. All right. PJ, you good? Awesome.
yeah.
I-
You're good.
Okay. Guys, you are good?
Can he speak sign language? Because that might help.
Yeah, I can actually.
No, not you. We can hear you fine. We can hear you fine. The guy,
Joey.
Joey, do you speak sign language? Nod yes or no. There we go.
All right, PJ, you want to give me a countdown? Or are we just going?
We still do countdowns?
I don't know if we do
We
countdowns.
don't do countdowns no more.
All right, fuck
Count
you
yourself
guys, man.
down.
Because people keep fucking it up.
Nobody knows how to count from 5 to 0.
That is true. We had a really hard time with that for months. Well,
All right, whenever
then
you're ready.
All right. 4,
Where's
3.
Hold on. Where's Ryan at?
Every
Ryan's
time,
on
man.
phone
Every
call.
time I start the countdown, y'all do that.
On a phone call.
Okay.
He'll get here. Don't worry.
All right. I was just checking. I didn't know if he said wait for him. So
No.
Okay.
And he's back.
And
All right,
we're
I'm
good.
back. Sorry,
all
I
right,
got
don't
a
start. All right,
angry
and
phone
then
call.
Ryan,
We're going.
Ryan, you usually keep an eye on the live chat, so keep an eye on the live chat so you can interact.
Yeah, I can do that. Hold on, let me load it up. How do I even do that? Can you post a link
And
somewhere?
it's the bottom right corner of the Hangouts, dude.
Every
Click
time.
links.
Every time.
There's a thing that looks
No.
like messages.
There's nothing in there.
Right underneath episode 71, it says links. Click on that.
No,
And
he's
then
already in the Hangout. He's looking at the. He wants to know on the Hangout screen. Where is it? It's top left-hand corner. There's a
No,
thing
it's
that looks
the-
like
bottom right-hand corner
on
No,
your
it's not
screen.
true.
on everybody's screen, Josh.
No, mine's top left.
They can't be
No,
true.
you're
Oh, I
looking
see,
for
I
the
see.
comment. You're not looking for. That's not what I'm talking about, Josh.
What are
I'm
you
talking
talking
about I'm talking about the. I know. I'm talking about the live chat for YouTube.
Right, and that's not in the bottom right-hand corner.
Yes. Do you see episode 71 in the bottom right-hand corner?
No.
No.
Can you post it on some Facebook page so that I can find it? That's how I know how to find it.
Guys, let's just go. We'll figure
Can we-
this out.
Can we start and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
figure that out?
Go.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
So I'm gonna do the countdown. 5, 4, 3.
2.
Thank you. Hello and welcome to Cleverly Named Podcast. We are everyday gamers from across the country that get together to talk about the past week in gaming and what we find interesting. I will be your host tonight. I'm John. Joining me today is Josh. Hello.
What's up? Sorry.
Funny. Ryan
Howdy.
and Joey. Are you available? He's waving
Not
to
yet.
everybody. Not yet. That's fine. And then we also have a special guest with us today. Owner of LA Entertainment Exchange and a buddy of mine. We have Carl Diamond.
Hello. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, dude, it's a pleasure, brother. He owns a great video game store, actually right up the street from my house, off Occidental, in basically, what is that, between Koreatown and, is that Koreatown?
Yeah,
What'd you say?
I call it East Koreatown.
Okay.
I called it North Koreatown for a while, then I realized it wasn't North. I thought it was just funny, but it wasn't accurate, so I stopped.
Either way, it's a great spot with a great video game community
Thank you.
that's doing its thing, and we're great to have you here. So we start the show as we always do with what we've been playing for the week. Carl will go ahead, guess first.
Okay, since I'm a video game store owner, I don't have a lot of time to play, but I have been able to play Bloodborne on
Okay.
PS4. I've been
Awesome.
playing the I guess like the 3DS release of Dracula's Curse. on
Oh, okay.
on 3DS,
Nice.
and I've been playing the Vita release of Axim Verge on the PS Vita, which I think is
Okay.
awesome.
Okay, and you were saying that in the precast that you're still staunchly playing the Vita.
Still rocking the Vita, yes.
I was just
Definitely.
gonna ask, what did he think is awesome, the game or the Vita? Because
Well,
It's a fair question.
the game is great. I feel like it's a fun sort of Metroid kind of game, Metroidvania, if I have to call it that. Maybe Metroid, like seek and find games.
Yeah.
like
Vita,
the SNES Metroid, Super Metroid.
yeah, the SNES Super Metroid, and well, I think even the NES Metroid was like that too, to an extent.
Mhm.
At least the first one was. And then the Vita as a system. The Vita is a great system. The problem is it has no love in America.
Gotcha.
It's like uh, the stuff they come out with it in Japan is just. If they had the same amount of stuff in Japan as they did in America, I think it would be doing a lot better.
Hmm.
I mean, considering a lot of the Vita games, people, whether they buy at my store, are imports. Like they'll actually shell out the
Okay.
money for me to import them.
And that was actually going to be my question.
Yeah.
Is you do quite a bit in imports? Would you say?
Uh, in terms of PS4 and Vita, yes.
Okay.
I have like a good handful of customers that do a lot of business looking, hey, I want this game. Can you import it for me? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that. And
Awesome.
it's expensive, so they must really want it.
Love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. We'll move on. Josh, what are you playing?
Was playing Dark Souls 3, then playing a little bit of Grim Fandango,
Ooh.
and last night slash today, pretty much Street Fighter 5 and
Okay.
DC Universe Online on the Xbox.
So you jumped in with my man Guile. That came out this
Dude,
week.
Guile is like, besides Ryu, Guile is my second favorite character. So yeah, when Guile was there, I was like, hell yeah.
Nice,
I
nice.
felt so cheated when I played the campaign through and I saw Guile show up in freaking what's his name's Nash's little cutscene. I was like, dude, you're gonna show me
Yeah.
Guile, but you're not gonna let me play as Guile.
Well,
That's
he was
bullshit.
announced. He was announced with the season pass.
It
But
looks
that's
like
great.
Abel's probably gonna be on his way too because he showed up.
Definitely, definitely. So how did he play? Did you dig it?
He plays typically exactly like I would imagine him to. He's not fast like Ryu,
No.
but
Ryu isn't even that
he's just a
fast.
mid-range. He's kind of, I would guess, normal speed, but he hits hard.
Uh-uh.
He hits harder than I expected him to. Like his Sonic Boom does a pretty decent amount of damage. Same with his Flash Kick.
Cool. Right on. I still haven't gotten to him yet, so I haven't had a chance to test him out. Who else do we have left? I'll just keep going. So for me, it's been all about betas this week, actually.
Yeah.
I played the Mirror's Edge Catalyst beta and absolutely fell in love again. And it makes me want to go back and finally finish the first Mirror's Edge.
Did they fix the stuff that was in the beta at the GameStop Expo? Or the build that they had there where like you weren't detecting ledges and everything?
Oh yes, it's a little bit cleaner. They still have some way to go, but the universe looks absolutely amazing. You know, if I could compare it, it's like the first Virtua Fighter. You know, I'm dating myself, but do you guys remember that, like on Sega Saturn and in the arcade?
Oh,
Yeah.
How blocky it was. That's the first Mirror's Edge to me compared to where they're at now.
Oh.
As far as like the background and the landscaping.
As far as fighters go, or as far as Virtual Fighter goes?
Virtua Fighter. I'm comparing the two. Like Mirror's Edge is Virtua Fighter 1.
Mhm.
Mirror's Edge Catalyst is Virtua Fighter 5.
Okay.
Like absolutely dope. And a great story. A much more cohesive story. Like here are these ridiculously talented parkour runners who are going to save the day for what reason in the first story.
Mhm.
In this one, they gave you I'd say I played about 4 hours into the actual intro of the game. So they gave you a good chunk of it.
Oh, that's cool.
To really, it was really dope. So you got to see kind of the backstory of how this particular dystopia of all the video game dystopias came to be about.
That makes me wonder if they gave you that long in a beta to run it, how long the full title is going to be. Because I remember with Mirror's Edge 1, you could complete it in about 8 hours.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you weren't getting lost, you could complete it in 8 hours.
Well, as opposed to Mirror's Edge was definitely, while you had different routes to get things done and you could definitely speed run it, this Mirror's Edge has a much more open world feel to it, to where there's side quests and everything. Now, I don't know how long that will take, obviously. Whoa, Joey, what's up, bro? And there we go. And yeah, I'm not quite sure, but I'm hoping it's a little bit more detailed. It felt way more intricate, and there was much more to do than in the first Mirror's Edge. Where it was you move from place to place.
On Mirror's Edge.
Yes, I played the new beta, is what we were talking about.
So did I.
Nice.
Thank you.
I also played the Gears of War 4 beta, which was okay.
It's for a minute.
That's how that game
Gears
looks.
4.
It just looks weird. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it plays exactly like how you remember Gears of War, 1 through 3 playing, and how Judgment plays, shooter style and the movement style and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I did play the beta. The one thing I did find that I liked about the beta a little bit more is I always felt that the maps in Gears of War games were always really, really claustrophobic, and they were small, and they specialize on making people, fight.
Right.
Whereas this one, all the maps seem a little bit more open, just in their art style, and they seem a little bit bigger with more multiple paths. So it's easier to flank people. You have choke points, but you don't have forced choke points where everybody has to go to that point and just die endlessly.
I could agree with that, but the only problem that I found was that a lot of times and this is in all the Gears of War really, I found it can really deteriorate into a shotgun fight.
This is very true.
100%.
You know what I mean? Especially in this particular beta, it was like, well, okay, there's no technique. It's like wait for somebody to run around the corner and shoot them in the face.
Mm-hmm. Like the first match I played, I couldn't use a Lancer because everybody was Nasher all day, except for the dude who was using a drop shot, which kind of pissed me off.
For sure. So there was that. I'm still on Broforce, man. Like Broforce is rapidly becoming my Spelunky. I love that game. I absolutely love that game. It's one of the best indies to come out on the PlayStation Plus sale, and I'm absolutely stuck on it. But Joey, since you're here now and with us, and we can hear you, I'll kick it to you. What have you been playing this week?
I've kind of been jumping back and forth between Fallout, Dark Souls.
Nice.
I just re-downloaded what's that game? Just got released on PS4. Gravity Rush on my Vita.
Oh, okay. Cool. Another Vita player.
Yeah.
I've been on Vita Island since day one.
And you're in Japan, right?
Yeah,
right now?
Yeah.
It's much better over there, I would imagine. Yeah.
It's a lot cloudier, but...
No, in terms of
gaming-wise, for Vita.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I know,
There's
right?
a lot more...
Friggin'...
There's a lot of games with a lot more plot than in America.
the plot is fully developed, right?
Yeah.
Very, very firm and solid plot.
Right on. So just because we don't have Carl for too much of the time, I'm going to quickly run through all of our normal detail. It is the start of the month, which means for those of us who have Games of Gold and PlayStation Plus, we have a new set of games coming out. I'll start with Xbox. Xbox has pretty decent, lots of sequels. What are we? Come on, where are you? Let's scroll. Give me some love. There we go. I'm not getting it. Oh, of course. I know it was Defense Grid 2 was one of them. Costume. What is that game? Costume.
Costume
Costume
Quest.
Quest.
Yeah.
What was it? Say it again.
Costume Quest Adventure
Costume
or something?
Quest.
Yes,
Costume Quest 2.
Adventures 2. So coming off
I'm
of
pulling it
Sunset
up.
Overdrive. Thank you. I don't know why that froze on me. Oh, there we go.
Okay. For Xbox One, hold on. Oh God, I hate this computer.
It's okay.
I can see the Xbox One, but nothing below it.
It looks like
Okay, so
Defense
Xbox
Grid
One.
2, Costume
There we
Quest
go.
2, and Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset
Yeah,
Overdrive
Defense Grid-
was the last one.
Is a repeat, I
Defense
think.
Grid,
Yeah.
Oh, is
Defense
it?
Grid
So
2
they
for the
held
whole
it?
year, for the whole month.
Okay.
Defense Grid 2 for the whole month. Costume Quest 2 from May 16th to June 15th, and then Sunset Overdrive from April 16th to May 15th.
Okay.
And then for
And
360,
then
for 360, it's Go ahead.
Grid 2, and then Peggle as well. Interesting.
Which I'm excited for. I like Peggle.
Have to play.
That's good, because I had a guy come into my store looking for Peggle, and he was very distraught that I didn't have it. So, I'd be happy.
Was he distraught or did he?
Physicals of that game?
There was a physical copy. I think it was on Xbox Arcade. Physical copy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For PlayStation Plus, we have Tropico 5, which I'm actually interested in playing.
I'm gonna give it a go.
Same
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about any of it, but I really liked the cover. I was like, oh, I can be a dictator?
I've always liked city building type games.
Yeah, I'm a big Civilization head,
That's why I've been wanting to give City Skylines a try.
for sure.
I like those world building games like that. Like I like Zoo Tycoon as well, because those are
Yeah.
just really fun.
Right on, right on. Let's see. I'll give some quick news. So Mass Effect is actually getting a theme park
Yeah, I heard about
for
that.
the first time.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did hear about that.
And it's going to be at California's Great America.
No way.
Wait, what?
California's getting it.
That's like 40 minutes away from me.
No, I mean, Mass Effect is getting a ride, or is it
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a whole...
It's
Yeah.
getting an actual
An
amusement park
attraction.
ride. Where
An
you
attraction.
I knew it was big, but I didn't think it was that big.
You
Yeah.
apparently go to fight some unknown huge race, which I'm guessing they did it as a general release because any fan of the series knows that you're probably going to fight Reapers.
Right.
And
I'll say, if there isn't a giant Reaper in the center of the park, like they have Mickey's Castle in the center of the park of Disney, if they don't have a giant Reaper, it's not going to be as good as I thought.
Yeah, that's like 40 minutes away from my house in Sec.
I kind of hope that they have little parts of the park where you can go and like people are crying for help and you can say no.
that'd be awesome.
And
Ooh, no,
the
sorry.
porters you can slap.
The opening on that is going to be May 18th, and the official title of it is New Earth 4D.
I'm gonna hit that shit up.
Yeah.
May 18th of this year?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'll go and let
you'll get to wear 3D glasses while a live performer guides you through space in Commander Shepard's Normandy. Shit.
Oh, so it's like in 17 days it'll be open.
Yep.
Oh, crazy.
John, I'll meet you there.
I
I thought I would have heard about
didn't
it.
expect that.
I didn't either, but I may have to check that out.
It's like you
Yeah,
go there,
John.
it's all rushed and like did a really sloppy job of it. Only had 18 days to do it.
Who
Meet me
knows?
there, John. We'll go.
And so for our daily bitch session, I'm going to skip around a little bit too. It was official that Zelda Wii U is going to be pushed back to March 2017.
Oh,
And-
you mean launching with the new console?
Yes, the same thing that they did to Twilight Princess
Yeah.
I'm
is
not
happening
surprised,
yet
but I
again.
didn't want it to happen.
I'm gonna give it to Carl, who being in the industry, and
Oh,
obviously
gosh.
selling Zelda, that's a big selling point, a money maker.
God.
What is that gonna do for you, man?
It's annoying because you have people pre-order it, and then it's what happened with it happened with Twilight Princess back when was that 10, 15 years ago? Maybe 10 years ago,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
About.
Yeah.
I had it pre-ordered at GameStop on GameCube. Kept getting postponed. Eventually, it's on the Wii.
Right.
That's what's gonna happen. Like I think one of you guys said that. It's gonna keep happening, and people are gonna get more and more frustrated. And I mean, you lose faith in the system, but more importantly, it's people lose faith with the small stores, and because we're the face of the system to them.
What I'm afraid of is
I think you went
they
out, man.
released it on the
There we go.
Wii, and I'm afraid that when they released it on there, I felt like the superior version of that game was the one on the Cube. So I'm afraid that when they release it on the NX, the superior version is still going to be the one on the Wii U versus the one on the NX.
I've already officially made the decision, man. I'm not going first generation. Like, I'm not buying NX right away.
It's a good call.
I'm going to.
I might.
I'm going to. Just because I'm a fan of Nintendo, I have to.
Well, and I am. I grew. That was my very first system.
Same here.
I love Nintendo.
I have to buy it because I own a video game store, and it's a super bummer. It's like, damn it, I don't want to buy it, but people are gonna ask for it.
Yeah.
I might have never had a Wii U, and I want it for Mario Maker.
I mean, Carl, coming from you, who's in the actual industry and whatnot, like what do you feel about the whole the thing that's been happening with Nintendo fans over the past few years, where we feel like we haven't been being listened to, and Nintendo's just kind of been doing their own thing, and people have been essentially begging Nintendo to do certain things, but when we finally get one of those things, they change it in some way, or they have to screw with it before we get it. Like, where do you think? What are you seeing? I guess in your line of business with that.
What I see is a company that doesn't care what anyone thinks. What I see is a company that needs to either that has enough money to support itself for another 10 years without giving a shit what you think. So
that's fair. I mean, that's real. That's absolutely real.
That's on both the consumer side and the buyer side, because they don't have any distributors on the West Coast or the Midwest. The only way I can get Nintendo stuff is by buying it from New York, which is annoying because I have to ship that, and that essentially means whenever I sell a Nintendo game, I'm breaking even. I'm not making any money on that. And sometimes with the 3DS, with the new 3DSs, when those came out, I was actually buying them for $210 and selling them for $200. So I was losing $10 on them. Yeah, because you have these old school New York distributors who just have so much control, and they set the prices based on demand.
Yeah, and why would they give you a break?
So yeah, why would they? I'm from California, and I'm a small guy too, so I'm only buying like maybe 5. So why would they even deal with me?
Awesome.
And so I don't know if that answers your question. As far as like titles we've been asking for go, like I assume you mean why did it take this long to have a Star Fox game? Not
only have a Star Fox, but when we did finally get the Star Fox, they had to screw with it. They had to put in some gimmick specifically with the Wii U controller or the motion control that you can't turn off. It's stuck there.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the cockpit mode?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I mean, you're looking at a console that has like a very specific feature that was a lot of time and energy was probably put into it, and you probably have factions within the company that say, hey, since we put time and energy into this, all of our first-party titles have to include some sort of function with this in order to make it relevant. Like I'm sure you have. I mean, I would imagine you would have people who are developing these games going, hey, look, we have this. We should probably feature it in there, even if it may or not be practical. So you have you see with Splatoon. Splatoon has co-op, but you have to use the the screen for one of the players. That's not very practical. I don't know if you guys played Splatoon. Have you played that co-op with the tablet?
I haven't played
the
Co-op.
co-op mode, but I've played Splatoon itself.
Yeah, well, someone has to play with the tablet while the other person uses the screen. Now, that's not.
I did hear about that.
Yeah, it's not very comfortable. So I mean, you look at hey, we're
You
making
just
Star
hunched
Fox.
over like this all the
We're
time.
making Star Fox. Let's make it so that you can look down and look through the cockpit. So I mean, it's definitely I've definitely had a lot of people complain about that in my store.
I mean,
What
I like
do you
that it's
think-
an option.
What do you
Yeah.
think Nintendo's going to have to do? Like, for those people like me, essentially, who is, I've been trying to recapture the magic that Nintendo presented me with when I was, like, I've been trying to essentially recapture my childhood with Nintendo.
Okay.
And going forward in the future. And sadly, the only way that I've been able to do that is by playing old school games like, you know, Twilight, or not Twilight Princess, but the Ocarina of Time or Super Metroid, stuff on the virtual console. I'm not getting that with the new stuff. Like, to that type of crowd, the people that just feel like they've been burned and they're sick of, you know, Nintendo not listening, what do you think Nintendo as a company would have to do? And I think we'll see a change because they have a new person leading them. What do you think they'd have to do with the NX for them to not only, I guess, win that faction back, but really turn themselves around as a console, not a handheld?
That's a good question. I mean, that's a difficult question to answer too, because you have to look at the way the industry is right now. I mean, do we really see there's a future for console gaming in general? I mean, you have a lot of people going, like, moving away from that.
It's true.
I mean, you look at the sale of the PlayStation 4 is doing well. Wii U is not doing well at all.
The Xbox and the PS4 both have outsold the 360 or the PS3 by tenfold.
Yeah, exactly. But you also see lack of faith in Xbox One. At Microsoft having it mash up with Windows 10, and then you also have this new. I think they were talking about having it where you can cross-system multiplayer.
Yeah, they're talking about
Yeah.
being a
Yeah.
company that officially says forward and says, screw the barrier walls
Mm-hmm.
of consoles. Let's give all the people play space to play together in. Which, I mean, to me, that just makes sense. I mean, that's essentially what PC does. But this is just bringing all the fold in.
Exactly, but you look at that as, okay, so we have that's great as a player. It's, I have more people to play with, but as a company having faith in your product, you don't think there's enough people that are buying your system.
Right.
Have
What does it say exactly?
To have a decent multiplayer population.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
For the longest time, right after I found out about that, I was sitting in my room and I was thinking, how could this screw with me? And luckily, I didn't find anything. I didn't find any problems, but
Too major.
I think that the main push for that, though, from their side comes from the fact that, like you said, the combination of Windows 10, that they're combining their PC gaming with their console gaming, and I think the main factor of them saying we want crossplay is mainly for the whole PC players to crossplay with Xbox, so that way if you have a copy of Halo, which everybody thinks that Halo's going to start seeing PC releases along with console releases, if you have a copy of Halo on PC, you can play it with a copy of Halo on console.
which is great. I think I strayed away from your question. I apologize for that.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
What would Nintendo have to do? I would have to say Nintendo would have to look back to what made the GameCube so popular. Because I think that the Wii did pretty well in terms of selection, but I think the GameCube did better. And
the Wii was
as far as
family
longevity, would you
market.
say?
what's up?
As
Sorry.
far as longevity, would you say? I'm sorry, we all kind of
No, in terms of variety of
and quality.
variety and quality of games.
Dude, like we had, just GameCube in general, we had, Mario Kart Double Dash.
Uh-huh.
We had 2 different Metroid Prime games that were the first time that they went first-person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
We had 2 different Mega Man X collections come out for it, or an X collection, and then another one that was a Mega Man game. We had
Star Wars, Rogue Squadron.
Oh, dude, so many good Star Wars.
We had
games.
two brand new Resident Evils. We had the whole. We had a remake of the first one. We had ports of all the other ones, the more popular ones. We had Eternal Darkness. We had a Metal Gear Solid remake.
Yes,
we had the crazy, insane, the limited edition disc that came with. I think it was Wind Waker. If you pre-ordered it, where it was
1, 2, Wind Waker. No, it was 1, 2, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. I have it sitting in behind the glass for $90. It's
called the Master Quest.
Who'd you get that from, Carl?
I got oh yeah. I don't know who I get that from. Some dick.
Nice.
John sold it to me.
Nice.
This man right here. Yes.
Yes, sir.
The man who's invited me to my podcast. Yes, I'm so sorry.
It's all good, but actually, I want to kind of stray away from this and give you kind of the opportunity to shine, because I really do. You know, you and I have had the pleasure of talking many times, but I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing. To have the kind of the guts to be at GameStop doing your thing and saying, you know, I can do it different, and build a community of your own is basically what we're doing here. You know what I mean? We're just doing it digitally, and we're just regular ass dudes that love video games. And I feel you tap into that.
I think that's great. I think that the whole gaming scene, both people who are playing and people who are buying and selling, should go back to the gamers. I think that it has gone a little too corporate, and then as a result of that, it has gone to a point where people aren't even buying stuff, and they're sharing it, or they're doing emulation, which I hear. I mean, that's a result of having. Why would you buy from a company that treats you terribly and doesn't value you as a customer or as a person? Why would you give them your business? Now, what I was trying to do was make it more. When you buy from me, you're buying from a gamer, someone who loves this stuff, and I'm telling it to you because you love this stuff.
Right.
In my store, I try to keep only the best stuff. That stuff that I know is great. And there's a lot of stuff out there that isn't that great. There's a lot of stuff that isn't considered great, but should be known as to be great. And there's a lot of stuff everyone knows is great, and there's a lot of stuff that also people think is great that isn't great.
I do say that is one of the aspects that I absolutely can't stand, and it's not just GameStop. It's big box stores. It's anything. Going in there as a gamer and trying to talk to somebody about games and have them fully understand like what you're talking about, and fully being able to like relate to the games that you're talking about. Like if you say something about like, you know, just going back like if you're like, I really liked this, you know, RPG. Can you tell me what other RPGs are like it or just as good? A gamer that can randomly pick stuff out of nowhere that isn't a mainstream title that can be like, dude, that game is really good. You need to get it. Like John picked up Rogue Galaxy the other day for the PlayStation 4. It was a PS2 remake or PS2, and he's like, I've never even played this game, but I've heard great things about it. Like somebody that can just go and pull something like that.
See, and I'm excited. I'm excited to play that. And you know, one of the crazy things about my relationship with Carl is that he was that guy for me. You know, I don't know if you actually remember this, Carl, but you recommended Dragon's Dogma to me.
Oh yeah.
You did.
What did I recommend that from? Like, what did you tell me you liked?
We were talking. I just finished Fable 3, and I was all super pissed off.
Oh yeah.
And it was late, and we were just bullshitting. Like honestly, it wasn't even that big of a deal. But I was like, you know, I'm trying to get into RPGs, and I couldn't do it because I'm more of an action person, you know, and a fighting game connoisseur. So if it's more than 12 hours, I don't have time. And it was just that whole conversation, and that was one of those things where I was like, oh man, this dude knows his shit, and it was really, really dope. And
That was
I enjoyed the game.
That was back in GameStop, wasn't it?
It was back
Yeah.
in the day.
Dragon's Dogma, that was what, 3 years ago?
It was a while back.
No, Dragon's
Probably-
Dogma was a while back.
A while back. It
There's
was
Dragon's
360.
Dogma, and then there's Dragon's Dogma, the
Arisen? Is it
Dark Arisen.
Arisen or is it?
Dark
The-
Arisen.
the sequel,
That's a-
yeah.
The Dark Arisen.
Um,
It was not really a sequel. They pretty much reworked the
but-
first game and then added the DLC.
Right.
Right, but I
Um,
mean, that first one was
Chronological. It
20
was,
years ago.
yeah, it was another release.
Great game though.
Yeah.
Great game. So just a couple quick questions. You know, now that you struck it out, you're there. You're making
2012.
it happen.
Mhm.
What is your present biggest challenge right now? Would you say? In terms of being the sole operator, I know picking just one. That's not,
Oh,
not
gosh.
really a fair thing.
Probably. Let's see, what's the biggest challenge? The biggest challenge. There's so many. Probably right now it's traffic.
Okay.
Because because it's a temporary thing because we're getting Starbucks right next to us, so that's gonna fix that.
Nice.
And then I got some new tournament ideas coming up, so that's gonna
Very
hopefully
cool.
fix that too.
Which is awesome. I do love that, by the way, that you,
Oh, thank you, yeah.
are doing tournaments and
Yeah,
and all
I-
sorts.
The idea when we first opened the idea was to get Friday to be a party night, and I figured, well, Friday was so popular, why not make every night a party night? And gamers just want to get together and meet other gamers, right? And that's
Mostly, yeah.
a lot of what we're about. I feel like online. While online has made this great sort of like giant mass get together, it's also done a lot to make us antisocial and push us
Oh,
toward
yeah.
each other.
Absolutely.
I can
Yeah.
tell you that when Halo 5 was coming out, I was part of the Halo Evolved or Podcast Evolved Halo group,
Mhm.
and we would talk like endless threads about the reminiscing of the LAN parties where we would
yeah.
get together with friends and just endless hours of Halo and swearing at your buddy in the other room, or being able to hear when you nailed that really good headshot on a friend because the other one in the other room is freaking out and throwing his controller, telling somebody not to screen look like a little bitch, like
Those are
all
good
these
times.
great things.
Well, and I
Yeah.
think you've really tapped into that, Carl. You know, I
And-
definitely got that feeling when I came in that one Friday. You know,
Yeah.
the first time.
Yeah, and I mean, I think LAN parties might be due for a comeback too. I think we've gotten to the point where like the new generation doesn't know about them, so we might be able to introduce
It
them.
might
and
be
say,
a
"Hey,
lot more fun.
This is like multiplayer, but you can all have pizza together.
Yeah.
So what do you think would be the game that might be that hook?
I don't know.
I mean,
If Halo 5 couldn't do it, but Halo 5 made the mistake of not having a split screen.
yeah.
Well, dude, the last time I had a party like that, it was Gears 3.
Gears 4 could do it maybe.
It was
But it's not four player co-op, man.
Gears
got rid of that.
I would say maybe this Left 4 Dead 3.
Oh, there you go.
Left 4 Dead 3 could maybe do it.
Which
That's
is
confirmed.
rumored to be at E3.
Because people forgot that. I mean, technically, Handsome Collection could have done it too. Because Handsome Collection was 4-player split screen. So
Yeah.
You know what else could do it? Depending, I mean, the reveal's coming up, but depending on what they say about it, if Battlefield 5 ends up making some changes like they're saying they're making to it, Battlefield 5 could pull it off.
see, I'm a huge fan of Battlefield 4. I think Hardline was like, oh, what the heck happened?
Hardline had a great campaign, but crappy multiplayer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even the campaign had a lot to love and a lot of cool ideas. But I like the campaign. From what I got from everyone around me, people came to my store, was that it was just like, what the heck is this? But yeah. What was what was your question again? Going back.
It happens so many times in this show. Don't even worry about it. I was basically just asking, what do you think it would take? What game could bring back the LAN party and all that. And you answered.
I think Left 4 Dead 3.
I think we got some good answers.
That's what I would bank on.
Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2.
Yeah, definitely.
There's nothing better than if it's real, if it's true, that you can wield a sword as a mech and beat the crap out of another friend that's wielding a sword as a mech.
Who would have thought that Mech Warrior would have come back as Titanfall?
Oh my God, Mech Warrior.
with the vengeance.
I thought it would have been Hawken. I saw Hawken, I was like, oh shit, this looks really cool. And then I guess it's too complicated for people.
That's cool. Or even Virtual On. I'm dating myself again, but I used to love Virtual On.
There's the new Resident Evil shooter game. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, like Raccoon Ops or whatever. No.
Raccoon City.
Yeah.
It looks like
a better
better
Tokyo Game Show, and it looked pretty good. Like more than people were saying it does. It looks really good.
Nice.
Because I actually saw a room full of people playing it, and it looked really fun.
I'm down for a good Resident Evil after 6, man.
I'm really see. Resident Evil is one of those games that like was one of my. It's been one of those series I've always loved ever since, because I was like begging friends that had PlayStations to let me play Resident Evil, let me borrow their PlayStation to play Resident Evil, because I had a 64 and I wanted to play it like nobody's business. But man, after they destroyed it with 6 and the things that they've done to it, I'm just like, just reboot the whole damn thing, please. Just go all the way back, reboot it all.
I mean, 6 is even better. Like, I would prefer 6 over the terrible game that was Operation Raccoon City.
Oh God, that was a game. That was even a game. That was like that was like. Tell me where the terrorists are. You play this.
The Raccoon City is bad.
I feel like that's how I feel about Assassin's Creed Chronicles.
I didn't think Chronicles was that bad.
China was not. India was awful. India was really bad.
Are you guys
Russia?
Are you guys comparing that to Liberation?
Liberation was
trash.
Yeah.
Oh.
I hated Liberation, and that's coming from a huge Assassin's Creed fan. I hated Liberation. I played it first on the Vita, and I was like, it's
well, that's why it doesn't. I don't think it translates to handheld because I played whatever.
I mean, the gameplay worked really well.
Mm-hmm.
The gameplay worked well on Vita. It was just
didn't have much going for it.
That game was poorly made.
So it goes in the pile of Fear 3 and Deus Ex Invisible War.
No, it's probably just like, what is it, the Assassin's Creed game that John was talking about, what's the one, the Templar one, or the hell that one was, the very last one in the 360 generation?
Oh no, that one was actually good.
Oh, Rogue,
yeah, that one.
I heard Rogue was okay. If you like 3,
Rogue was decent.
If like 3 was the thing you worshipped, then
3 needs to die with fire
Black Flag.
Black Flag, I mean, yeah. But, you know what's funny is that when I was in college, and 3 came out, everyone was like losing their minds at how much they loved it. And then for some reason, after a while, like people started hating on it hardcore.
I was
3.
It didn't work for me. It was actually more buggy to me than Unity was. I got through Unity relatively unscathed.
Because Unity, I
definitely didn't.
I think I had the same experience as you, John. I think like there were some great moments in Unity for me, but then I think I got to a point in the game where if it was actually like if there were no problems with it, it would have been like some sort of strange surreal nightmare. But I remember have you played Unity? Remember after the hot air balloon mission?
Yes.
The hot air balloon. So you I guess you have some romantic times with the redhead in the hot air balloon, and then you wake up alone in the hot air balloon. For me, I had the most horrific moment there. So I woke up in the hot air balloon, and there's a man without a face staring at me. and he's just like, "Are you okay?" And he has no face, and he's just a soft figure, and I'm like, So I'm in France, and everyone looks the same, and this one man has no face.
Carl got catfished in a video game.
No, dude, he didn't get catfished. Carl just got done sleeping with Slender Man.
Yeah, no, and it's like the hot air balloon dropped me in Silent Hill, and it's great.
Oh man, that's too funny.
God,
That's
Silent
good.
Hill.
You see, let's pull off the scab again and talk about that, huh?
God, I wish.
You guys heard that
yeah.
that Ito is gonna do the monster design, right?
Yes, I did. I don't even know.
Hey, I'm okay with Kojima saying that it can eventually happen, but it's just not Silent Hill. It's something. It's the same
Allison
game.
Road, though.
Yeah.
Allison Road's coming out. I don't know if it's out already, but it looks. If you've seen the gameplay, it looks a lot like PT did.
What game is it?
Allison
Am I
Road.
right? Allison Road?
Yeah, take PT and make it into a full game,
Okay.
and that's what you got. It looked really good. It made my skin crawl watching the gameplay video.
Okay, good.
Yep. No thanks. That's where I come.
Have any of you played? Have any of you played the game Dread Out?
Nuh-uh.
No.
I have it
Haven't
on my
heard of it.
computer. I have it on a computer at the social place I go to.
Dread Out seemed to me like it was worth checking out. I'm a huge fan of PlayStation 2 era horror games.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks like a Fatal Frame.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Which was another series that got like kidnapped and tortured by Nintendo.
Maybe I should
the last
realize,
game, the third
stop
game was
making that
called The
horror
Torture.
trap.
Oh, sorry.
No, then I'm talking shit.
No, but it's like you had these 1, 2, and 3, and then 4 and 5. Was it 4 is on the Wii,
Right.
and then 5 is on the Wii U?
No. They made 1, 2, and 3, and then they made Maiden of Blackwater on the Wii U as an episodic.
Well, what happened to
There
4?
may have been a Wii one that there may have been a Wii one that didn't come out in America, but
Yeah.
there's only the 4 that I know of. The
Yeah.
3, PS2, and then the Wii U.
Carl, I want to ask you about 2 things.
Okay.
One, just because of the fact that a lot of us, John, me, and pretty much everybody on here, we all have what we call sharing buddies. Every single one of us has stuff for sharing with digital copies. I want to know, how do you feel about the digital versus physical? And then I also want to know, just from your personal perspective, with games like Hitman and shit like that are being turned into episodic games where it's like, we'll give you a little bit of content, a little bit of content, a little bit of content, where they've literally taken the DLC idea and just ran with it to an insane level. Like, how do you feel about these things?
Okay, I'm going to address the Hitman thing first, episodic stuff. It's funny because in the future, television has become like games, and games have become like television. We have Netflix where they're releasing entire series at once, and you have games where they're releasing it episodically.
I've never even thought of that. That's good.
With Hitman, I don't have a problem with that because Hitman seems like the perfect medium to do episodic content with, because it contracts. You're killing people, and it sounds like while you're getting a slice of the pie, it's a really good slice of pie, and it's really, really detailed, and you have a lot of different ways of going about it. I haven't played it yet, but I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Well, I'm just kind of not necessarily Hitman, but I'm talking about like more like the precedent that it might set if Hitman does good. Like, there's a lot of people that are worried like you might get RPGs, like full-fledged games, like we were talking about Witcher 3 earlier. Games like that might go to, here, we're going to give it to you in chunks instead of giving it to you all at once.
That
like
might
Final
happen.
Fantasy 7?
Yeah, 7
like,
might be,
there you go. Great example.
7 might be the testing ground for that, if you want to think about everything as like in conspiracy theory. 7 might be the testing ground for that, actually. But
you can tell he works with gamers. That's awesome.
Oh my God! I can do a whole episode about what gamers think and the crazy shit they tell me.
We are bringing you back then. We will do that.
Yeah.
That's great, when we have more time.
I won't use names, but I'm not too worried because in the end they're going to release a version that is a collection of all the episodes, and they're going to release it on disc most likely, and that'll be something for me to sell.
Okay.
That or they don't do it, and people just they end up making games traditionally, or we have a point like we have now where some games are like that and some games are not like that. I'm not too worried because with my business model, what I look at mainly is used stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if they do have collections on disc, eventually that's going to come into my store. And unless there's a serial key on it, I'm not too worried. That being said, you do have the fear that everything goes to digital, and if that happens, then I'm done, but also GameStop's done. So unless they become like ThinkGeek, the store.
Well, they were
publishing like they're trying to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are saying that the whole reason that they got their publishing division and got up a bunch of developers is people are thinking that they're kind of seeing. I mean, it's also like what you were talking about. The whole reason that you broke off from GameStop is because of the gamer angst against them as a corporation.
Yeah.
But they're kind of seeing the writing on the wall that's like, okay, we're not bringing people back because we're pissing people off.
Yeah.
And our used catalog is dwindling because of that. So we need something to stay afloat.
Yeah, and I think I saw that too, and I think if people are disappointed in GameStop's like service as a store, I don't. I think they're imagining that it's going to be any better as a publisher or developer.
Well, I mean, they can't really screw over the gamer if they're just a publisher. Though I
don't say that because
I don't understand that.
They'll find a way.
How they're screwing over the gamer as a.
Have you ever heard of a company called Activision? Because
yeah. You know, I still tell people about Destiny, and they go, "What the?" They get so mad. I got this one girl came in and she was talking to, I have Destiny already on the PS3, but I want to upgrade to the version that has everything on the disc. And I just looked at her and said, well, there's no version like that. She says, well, yeah, there is. It's the Taken King. And I'm like, nope, the Taken King is the same disc that you have with a little code inside.
Yeah.
So literally, when you buy the Taken King and you try and sell it back to me, I give you the same price as if you'd bought it months ago.
I also know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I remember you came to me and said, "Oh, I didn't use the code yet." You know how many times I hear that every day?
Dude, that explains so much to me because with me and John sharing on the PS4, I see Destiny the Taken King on there. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to download it. And every single time that I go to download it, it tells me I have to buy it. And I'm like, what did John do to this copy of the game that it makes this?
Well, no, it was just the physical, and I never got around to putting it all on.
And I didn't know that it was actually physical.
Well, I told you that. I texted you. I was like, hey, when I did the playtest, that's how I got it in the first place. It was the Activision playtest that I went to, like, what? That was like 5 months ago, 6 months ago, maybe?
Did it
DLC
were they
for Destiny locked the account anyway?
Were they
I don't even know.
Were they playtesting what name you should decide to call the next Call of Duty game? Because apparently they're running out of ideas.
We were playtesting.
Oh, thanks for holding.
I'm not gonna say that. You see that? Yeah, I still got it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm making sure to remember your Twitter handle for the end of the podcast.
Oh, perfect.
That's what I'm doing. But anyway, that's funny. So I mean, because you're doing the niche, you know, you're not just selling the modern consoles. You also are a great place to go downtown for the Super Nintendo, for know NES, for whatever you happen to have on hand in the store, which is great.
And that's what we're gonna have to focus on as things become more and more digital, and you guys and people are sharing games and doing whatnot. You're gonna have to focus more on the stuff that is used and the older stuff. And a lot of people have actually spoken to are actually going backwards. They're trading in their PS4s and their Xbox Ones for Super Nintendos and GameCubes, and paying a lot for it.
It's nostalgia, man. One of the things in gaming that is the most powerful thing in the world is nostalgia.
Yeah.
Well, you know, a lot of these guys. I mean, that guy that we were talking to when you were testing a Super Nintendo or whatever was like, "Is this Shovel Knight?" and it was Yoshi's Island. Do you remember?
I remember that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there are, and it's so weird to think about that there is a whole generation of gamers who have no idea what we're talking about.
That's because they started with Call of Duty.
Right.
It's
right.
true.
And that's legit though.
A lot of kids, they say, I want to play Call of Duty 2, and I put Call of Duty 2 on. They're like, what the heck is this? They're like, oh, you meant Black Ops 2. And you're like, yes.
Or Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
And that's
they didn't even mean that. They meant Black Ops 2.
They went blocks.
Because you have kids who are coming in today who are 16 and they were born in 2000, and it's like,
yeah,
they don't even
that's so weird.
They don't know what the N64 is.
I can't even get on that level.
Yeah.
So that actually brings up a point. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
I mean, to put a final answer on your question about what where I see this coming, either digital takes over or it doesn't. And if digital takes over, then the easy answer is liquidate and get out. Find something else to do.
I expect to be the first email if you do decide to liquidate.
Most of the stuff will be yours. You'll just be buying it back.
That's true.
Nice.
Nice. You'll be like, oh, I already have this on Wii U. Why am I buying this again?
So, Carl, you said that you import stuff.
Uh-huh.
Or do you actually do special order stuff too? Like if somebody comes in and says, I really have like a nostalgia that I want to play a Sega CD or something like that.
Just reaching for the fences.
I've done that. It's more expensive. It's usually the more specific something is, and the harder rare it is. I can get it, but it's gonna be it's gonna cost you because
you're gonna pay for it.
I either, if it's a specific thing, I'm gonna have to go look for it specifically. I'm gonna have to go acquire it from somebody. Or I'm gonna have to order Amazon and then deal with having, if it's broken, I gotta resend it back and whatnot.
I can tell you that right now there's one game system, and specifically one game on that system that I would want to find, and that is a Sega Saturn, and that is Iron Man vs. Exo Manowar. That game was the shit.
I remember that game.
That game was dope.
If that ever comes in, I'll tell John.
Yo, dude, please do.
Well, he'll contact you, or
I will give John the money via PayPal.
Myself and then hold it over his head forever.
And then I'll come down there and kill you.
Well, that's probably how that'll end. Yeah, escalated. Let's see. Shoot.
You guys have any more questions? I actually got to go in about 5 minutes.
No problem. Just one thing. I know you're doing a couple things actually.
Okay.
You're doing great tournaments. You do fighting game tournaments. You do the normal multiplayer and all that crap. What do you have coming up this week for those of us that are in the LA area?
Oh, okay. Oh boy. So what's today? It's Sunday. Okay, great. Tuesday we have our pizza night where we just order pizza and you get together, play whatever you want, talk about games. It's real fun, real simple. Then on Wednesday we have half off happy hour after 4 where you can play whatever you want. It's only $2 an hour. Thursday we have might be our last social night where it's $5 for the evening and you just socialize with other gamers, talk about games past and present, play whatever you want. The big night is Friday though. Friday is when we have our Smash Brothers tournament. And that was Smash 4. Which is slowly mutating into Melee.
Okay, just going back.
That does not surprise me at all.
Because that's what people want, and with the price tag Melee has, like for the absurd amount of money I can sell Melee for, I understand.
Right.
So that's on Friday, and that's also Fight Night. So it's also you pay $5, either enter the tournament, you have a chance to win $50 store credit, or you could play whatever fighting game you want. There's drinks and snacks. Every night it has drinks and snacks, complimentary, because it's part of the $5 you pay.
That's awesome.
And then what else? Saturday we have Shooter Night, which is supposed to be a celebration of first-person shooters, but ends up just being a bunch of kids playing zombies.
No, that's usually how they all deteriorate into.
I tried teaching them GoldenEye and I killed all of them, and they're like, "Oh, what is this?" If I had a controller to show you how one kid held the N64 controller, you guys would laugh. It'd be so
Oh,
funny.
wait. No, just like put your hands up and show us how it is.
So-
Because we don't know what it looks like.
You all know it looks like a wonderful claw reaching out of.
Yeah.
So the kid held it like an Xbox controller. Instead of holding it like this or like this, he held it like this. And he was like, how do I shoot? And he kept reloading. And I'm like, it's the Z button. It's the trigger like a gun. And he's like, what? Mind you, okay, here's one thing I'll leave you on. It's the stupidity of the younger generation of taking all their primary sources from YouTube.
Right.
Instead of actually going out and playing the game, they watch Mojo and they watch a whole bunch of and they watch Twitch.
Automatically think they're gonna get it by osmosis.
And they think that they know about games because they've watched Watch Mojo. They watch the top 10 lists. This it may not apply for everybody, but it's what I've seen in my store. And
Awesome.
they will violently defend Watch Mojo, and it's absurd.
That's awesome. And I just wanted to hit one more note for everybody who's in the area and does come into your store.
Watch
You do
Mojo.
offer-
I'm sure it's a great site. I'm just asking. Play. Just in case Watch Mojo is listening, I'm sure you guys do a great job. But younger gamers just should go out and play the games first.
And Cleverly Named Podcast, we don't want any beef. But
Yes, no.
you can play any game in your store for an
Yes.
hour at a time for how much again was it?
$4 an hour during normal hours. Yes.
Cool. Very cool.
Here's
So
my
you can actually try the game out yourself for
we
a
got
whole
everything.
hour.
We got
Anything you
everything.
want.
Yeah. Sorry.
Here's my
Yeah.
question about that.
What's up?
If it gets up to $60, do they get to walk out with the game?
No, actually, that's the great part about it. It keeps going. I've actually had I had like 20
True
copies.
arcade.
I had $20, 20 copies of Smash Brothers, which is way too many to buy. But Smash Brothers was so popular when it came out that
You already made your money back.
the one copy I opened paid for all 20 copies.
Nice.
That's absolutely great, and it's the old arcade standard, man. You know,
Yeah.
play until you want, but when the money runs out, the money runs out.
Carl, do you repair the older stuff? Like for anybody out there that might have an issue with that's in the LA area that might have an NES or SNES or anything like that, do you repair it there, or do you guys know people that can repair them?
We know people that can repair them. Some repairs we do in house. I'm slowly learning how to repair things. Like I fixed a NES. I fixed an N64. I'm fixing a Game Boy SP right now. But
Wow.
we are connected with other repair guys, and we can usually get things repaired.
Cool, so you can keep the gaming going on.
Yeah, repair or replace is what we say. Yeah.
Also, for all of our, because we do have gamers who listen in from all over, can they get on your website and actually order from you
Well,
directly?
we're working on that right now.
Okay.
Right now we have our eBay page,
Mhm.
which is CR Diamond 88, which is my name. Unfortunately, as professional as that is.
It's okay.
We have that, and then we have the store, which we are building the website right now, though.
Cool. But you do have a Twitter account,
Yes.
and where can we follow you?
It's Twitter, Instagram. They're both the same. It's @LA_EEX.
Awesome. Hey, Carl, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
definitely.
We will have you back. We'll talk more because I really do love hearing about the ills of the gaming industry and your view on it.
Oh, definitely. And check out one last plug before I go.
Yeah, of course.
We
absolutely.
are actually doing a series of videos based on my experiences in the store and
Nice.
based on what I've seen in the store. And
That's awesome.
the first series is going to be about what kind of game average people coming to the video game store would make. So I sit down with the more colorful characters there, and I ask them, what kind of game would you make? And I ask them what the plot is, who you play as, what the villains are, and what the weapons are. And then I try and do concept art for it.
That's really cool. That's a cool
I
idea.
totally want to
I
watch
love it.
this.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, the first rough episode's coming out in about a week or two. So
Cool.
keep
Well-
an eye at the Revolver Clyde YouTube channel. It'll be there.
Keep it posted, and actually, we can bring you back in and around that time,
That'd be
and
great.
talk
Absolutely.
more about and see how it turned out for you. Really, thank you so much, Carl, for being here.
Thank you,
I will
guys.
probably see you like next week.
Definitely.
Yeah, we
Or
appreciate it.
actually tomorrow. But
Definitely. My pleasure, guys. Thank you so much.
yeah,
Thanks for coming.
Definitely.
appreciate you, man. Okay. All right. I don't really have anything else.
I thought didn't we have some E3 stuff or whatnot that we were supposed to hit up? I thought you had on there.
I think that was from last week. Honestly,
well.
We don't have a doc.
Is
this
there
week, do
anything?
we?
Well, we can. No, we didn't. We didn't actually do a copy. I've been kind of winging it. But since we are talking about E3 and it is coming up, we've all seen, we've all heard, we've all been excited about certain things that have popped up. Why don't we go around and talk about the game that has got our attention? And Joey, we'll start with you.
All right. Well, assuming that Square pulls what they did last year and don't show anything about Kingdom Hearts, I'm most excited for Legend of Zelda
Nice.
because they've announced that they're not having any playable games except for Zelda. So that means they're gonna have like a big booth that's Zelda related,
Yeah.
and I'm just interested to see what that's like.
And they.
I mean, I'm not actually gonna be there, of course, but
Right. Well, they have a whole half of the main arena to themselves.
Do they?
Like so, there's two different areas. They get the bulk of one main area. So if that's all
And this-
dedicated to just Zelda, that's pretty dope.
But this also means, since they're not having any other playable games, this means they're gonna have to knock it out of the park with their direct.
Absolutely.
Otherwise,
yeah,
they're
their
not gonna
treehouse
survive
is going to
through
be.
this.
Because they
They're
did say that
survive,
the
they're not
NX
gonna-
It's
the
not
NX
going to be
won't
shown.
be in-house.
Yeah, it
That doesn't mean that it won't be on the direct though.
It won't be at E3. They said.
Yeah, it's not going to be
I don't know if that means in
showable.
a physical sense. I don't know
Or
if that means
if
in a
some people
physical
get it
sense,
behind the
or if
closed
they're not gonna-
doors. Right.
I just find it hard
This
to
is
believe
true.
that they're going to launch it in March of next year, which is what they've said they're going to do. I find it really hard to believe that they do not come out on Nintendo Direct to E3, which is one of the biggest areas that gamers tune in to look at the stuff that's coming in the future, and they don't show it there. If it's not there, then it would have to be Gamescom.
Well,
That's
I mean,
what I'm saying.
and Nintendo's notorious for doing things in their own time, though. You know, so it's
This is
not
true.
it's not the end of the world if we don't see it at E3. It doesn't mean we're not going to see it. It just means that
It'll just be a
it's
bit
gonna take more
strange
time.
because E3 is where they'll have one of the biggest audiences. If they just do
Right.
it direct, there's not a guarantee that everybody's going to see it.
right, and that's true.
That or
but-
Nintendo's just going to be like, everybody else shows their consoles and everybody else gives release dates.
Mhm.
We're not going to do any of that. We're going to march to the beat of our own drum and just randomly throw the console out on some day, and it's going to sell because we're Nintendo. We're not even going to tell you what games it has. You're going to have to walk into the store and see it for yourself.
I feel like Nintendo's gone the EA route a bit. You know, where they used to be the console that truly cared about gamers. I don't feel the love the way I used to.
That's because they
Although-
haven't listened to us.
No, but I mean,
They really don't.
although I will say this, I mean, they still have some of the highest rated games whenever they do come out. Their main ones.
This is true. Whenever a
Yeah.
game comes out, and
That's-
if it's like first party, it always, unless it's like Amiibo Festival or whatever it was, it almost always gets high scores.
Right. True that.
Except for this year, because they didn't do very good this year with like Mario Tennis, Amiibo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
they're
and
Mario
Star,
Paper
Star
Jam.
Fox. Star Fox didn't do as well as I thought it was going to. And I still haven't even. I still haven't even bought my copy. Honestly, I have one waiting
I
for me
haven't
at
either.
GameStop. But Josh, what are you excited about for E3? The hype train. Bring it into the station, baby.
Well, I'm not gonna give you much, man, because I've been trying to I don't want a repeat of last year and the E3 prior to that, where I knew everything that was coming ahead of time.
Right.
So I've been trying to keep myself away from any article that says anything about E3 because I don't want to know. So
First, while I get that, I'm calling bullshit. There's something in your arsenal that you have been hyped about that you've sent us a 30-page IM about that you're like, yo, this is that shit. You know what I'm saying? So what is it? You got one game in the pocket. I know you do.
one game that I don't know,
I mean-
man. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm hyped about Bethesda's conference, and I'm hyped about Microsoft's conference. I'm hyped about Bethesda's because, for all intents and purposes, after last year, nobody thought Bethesda. Everybody was like, okay, Bethesda just dropped a whole shitload. That's it. And Bethesda's typically been a studio for knowing to do its niche games. So for them to come back and say, we have enough to do another conference next year, that's like, okay, what is in there that has not been released? Like, what new IP are you dropping? And then as far as Microsoft goes, I'm actually excited to see ReCore. I want to see the gameplay of ReCore because we didn't get anything about that.
Except a gorgeous-looking trailer. But that is a very interesting game.
And then Crackdown. I want to see actual gameplay of Crackdown, not freaking an in-engine trailer.
Right.
I'm kind of hoping for Bethesda at least that I think they're going to do something with Thief because I noticed Bethesda tweeted out something about their conference and it had a drawing of who was it? There's the lady from Dishonored, the Doom
Garrett.
guy, Garrett, which was kind of just a weird. They kind of just threw that in there out of nowhere. I thought, and it had all these different characters.
I thought, is Thief still Bethesda? Because I thought Thief was now under Square Enix.
I'm not sure.
Square Enix typically made its more recent games.
Not sure.
But
okay, John.
Strange though that he was on there.
Mm-hmm.
John, I think I know what you're talking about as far as my one game that I have in the pocket, and it's not really a game; it's more of a feeling, and it's the feeling that Microsoft has been trying to expand. I mean, they've done it with novels, and everything. They've been trying to expand the Halo universe. They brought back the Halo Wars 2 after massive fan requests, or they're doing a Halo Wars 2, I should say. My feeling is that Microsoft is going to announce another Halo game at the end of the Halo Wars 2 trailer, or at the very end of their conference, they're going to announce another Halo game.
I agree. I think that's a very good guess.
That it's in some. It's not going to be Halo 6. It's going to be in some other, flushing out the universe in some other way. It's going to be.
I hope it's based off Fall of Reach.
It's going to probably be like ODST 2. Or they're going to do some. It's going to be different in the gameplay, though. It might be a shooter, but it might be a tactical shooter. It might be. It's not. Obviously, it's not going to be strategy, but they're going to do something with it to flush the universe out. Especially at this point in time, after Halo 5, where the universe sits, like there's all sorts of stories you can tell from how the end of Halo 5 has affected the rest of the freaking universe. Because I'm not going to say what happened because I have no idea where you guys are, and I don't want our listeners to get ruined because the ending was like, holy crap, this whole universe has been changed now. But I mean,
it was good. It was very good.
It's going to be interesting. That's my feeling of what they're going to do.
Okay. So Halo news, awesome.
I think that's a very good guess.
Ryan, what are you excited about? Anything catch your eye besides Madden 17?
The show? The show, yeah, absolutely. No, that just came out.
Gears 4.
I like Gears 4, but I mean that's not going to be a huge E3 thing because it'll be coming out
in October. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I still think we'll see gameplay.
I thought it was coming out sooner than that. Then yeah, they'll definitely show it at E3. But I'm like super excited to learn more about Mass Effect Andromeda.
Nice.
Mass Effect 3 was so free. I was one of the few people that just purely loved that game. Like that, one of the better ones one of the better games I think I've ever played.
Well, everybody loves the game. They just hated the ending.
It's a great series. Yeah, that was pretty much it.
The ending of Mass Effect 3 wasn't good until they did the change, and then they brought out all the DLC, and then the ending was phenomenal.
Awesome. Yes,
I never got a chance to play the DLC.
Still would love to get that on backwards compatibility.
Oh yeah, dude, I would replay it in a freaking heartbeat.
That might be an announcement at E3
that
they've nailed. That they've nailed multi-disc backwards compatible games, so that way they can make games like Mass Effect and whatnot backwards compatible. Because that was their issue. They said with making
Red Dead.
Mass Effect 2 and Red Dead and whatnot is that they required
Red Dead's multi-disc?
Yeah.
Red Dead was 2 discs,
Campaign and multiplayer.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Campaign and
right. That's
multiplayer was
right.
mixed.
Yeah, but you had to change over the discs after you crossed over into Mexico.
Oh, I thought it was
Yeah, I did.
once you crossed over into multiplayer.
Nope, Mexico.
Oh, okay.
No.
Second you made your way south, which was funny because you had to change the discs, and that was purely for story. Because after you did that,
Right.
and you went back to play the game, even after you beat it, you could just have the second player disc or the second disc in, and it explore everywhere in that game without ever having to switch the disc back.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, then again, it wouldn't be an issue if they were just doing digital distribution for backwards compatibility. Like, they could get so many games out then, but since they're trying to do physical as well, that's where their issue lies.
Yeah, and that was one of the things. Once they announced Doom 3 for backwards compatibility, I was looking for it on the digital market, and when I went and looked at Microsoft's site, it said it is purely a physical only backwards compatible for the Doom 3 BFG edition, which I thought was weird.
What a trip.
Right on.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think Ubisoft has up their sleeve?
For Honor, which is what I'm excited about.
Yes.
No, I'm not
Ubisoft's going to talk a shit ton about the Division. I know that.
I'm talking about that best kept secret game that they have had for like the last 4 or 5 years that always drops at the very end.
Don't know. Honestly, don't know, and I'm not too worried. Ubisoft will do Ubisoft. We'll probably get a snippet of the new Assassin's Creed, like just a small taster.
Yeah.
And then of course I think it will be like now that Division is out, Turbo Track Mania. Most of their roster from last year, E3's last year, is pretty much out.
Yeah.
You know, so.
So are we thinking Watch Dogs 2?
Ghost Recon probably.
Watch Dogs 2 is
Watch
probably
Dogs
a good.
2.
There's probably going to be a teaser. I wouldn't say their release date. Well, but at the same
I don't
time,
think they're gonna.
they don't want to tease it. They don't want to tease it too soon because they ran into that problem with the first one.
Are we thinking? What do you think EA is going to do? Because EA seems to have a lot of firepower. I mean, they're not going to have a booth, but their show, I think, is going to be.
With them, I'm taking your route. Like honestly, with EA not doing it, I actually applied to see if I could get into EA show because they're not going to be at official E3.
I think EA is going to be talking.
They're taking
during
it
their show.
public.
They're going to probably talk and show a lot more about Battlefield 5. I think.
Probably.
And maybe finally talk about what that 4th Battlefront DLC is.
Do you think they remember?
Well, they're obviously going to talk. Well, this Titanfall 2, they've pretty much confirmed that that's going to be there.
Yeah.
Which is going to be awesome.
But that's 2 shooters for them to talk about in one show. There's got to be other things that they're going to talk about. I mean, besides their sports games, there's got to be something else besides that they have to bring up.
No, they're going to talk about Madden 17 for 3 hours.
They're gonna bring out Joe Namath or something.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. They brought out the hockey player last year, or not the hockey, the soccer player.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, that was his name. I was trying to place his name.
You heathen.
Literally the only reason I remember that is because people have talked about it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should bring Joe Montana or Brett Favre or something.
Or just not bring anybody.
And
yeah, I get that.
Just talk about it and move on.
I mean, E3 or not E3, EA. I think they have to have heard from the watchers of the show over like the past 3 years that everybody's like, stop changing up your show. Just show us games. We don't care about your little tweaks and whatnot that you've been doing. Just show us games.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm just reading through video game releases. You know what I want to hear about that we haven't talked about that we were so stoked about last year? Sea of Thieves.
Cuphead?
I wasn't even all that excited about that. You guys thought that was some crazy shit, and I didn't even.
Wait, is that the Rare game?
Yeah, that's the Rare.
Yeah.
Game.
Oh yeah.
I'm mainly excited about that because I love pirates. Like as a theme, I
Same
love
here.
pirates. I don't know why.
Same here, because
That's why I liked. That's why I like Black Flag so much.
You know what? I would love to see Microsoft at their conference drop an RPG. Like, just either, I don't care if it's a new IP or something, like, if full-fledged
I would
RPG.
I would like them to say something, considering what's
Fable Legends.
Yeah, all that closed
Speaking
down.
of going back to EA for a second, do you think they'll say anything about Dragon Age?
I hope not. They haven't even released freaking Mass Effect yet.
Yeah. And
Like, I want to hear Mass Effect.
Wasn't there more content coming out for Dragon Age, or did that all get released?
I think that's all came out because Dragon Age has been out for like what, 2 years now?
Yeah, which
Yep.
is why I don't want to hear anything about Dragon Age until Mass Effect Andromeda gets released.
I'd also like to be able to finish Dragon Age. That'd be nice.
I'm not
Dude,
even close.
John,
or you know,
Dragon
start it.
Age, Dragon Age is so old that the last that you and me were actually together when we saw the Dragon Age for the first time and were able to play it when you got the demo downloaded on your console. I was
remember
there.
that. That's right. Holy
We
crap!
designed that Gandalf looking.
The Black
dude.
Gandalf.
Yeah, we designed Black Gandalf.
I think he's still on there.
Nice.
He's
Nice.
running.
You guys
He's
talking about
running.
Inquisition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's running around that world like, what the hell happened to those dudes? All right.
Do you guys think we'll hear anything about CD Projekt Red's new game?
We were talking
we
about
talked
that
about
right
that at
before
the
you came
beginning.
on the chat. The Cyberpunk 2077 or 2077.
Yeah, if it's anything, we were saying that if it's anything like Witcher 3, it's gonna decimate all.
Yeah, it'll. That's an
Yeah.
instant game of the year. That pretty much will take my
Because
game
now-
of the year
because-
vote away from Dark Souls 3 in a heartbeat.
Because after Witcher 3, people have set their sights on CD Projekt Red now. I mean, before they had
Well-
a decent following after Witcher 2, but Witcher 3 kind of put them on the map, I think.
Absolutely, and for a number of different reasons, man. I mean, one, the game was just freaking gorgeous. Two, it was captivating and continuously interesting, even for those of us like Ryan and myself who don't really do RPGs and get into the action. Like there was always something to do. You know, you could spend an eternity in that world. It was basically guys like us finally understood what everybody else was talking about when it came to Skyrim.
I'm sorry,
know.
but you can't say guys like us when you're referring to me. I didn't even play the game.
Oh, well, screw you then.
No,
PJ. I was talking about PJ.
PJ.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
but I loved Skyrim. So
Sorry.
Okay,
But
that
then
no.
also, they did the right thing by releasing a whole bunch of content to make us feel like they earned our $60. You know what I mean? They still had
that game had content for days.
Yeah, they still had the expansions that you had to pay for. They still made extra DLC money.
They're not all out yet.
Yeah.
And that's a company that knows how to do expansions. Oh, you're gonna
Right.
pay $60 or whatnot for expansions, but by the way, these expansions add like 40 hours worth
an
of content to the
entire
damn game.
new world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jump and hang out in.
Their expansions for that game are like full games in and of themselves. They could have done like Chronicle style games for that and just released them
Right.
all, but they released them as DLC.
And they did it for that exact reason. You know, they made a point saying it over and over again while they were doing press for Witcher 3 of that they really wanted the gamers to know how much they cared about the fact that they spent money on the game and to do that and to be such an amazing, you know, it was the AAA title of the year.
Yeah.
You know.
It won so many Game of the Year awards.
And rightly so. It was
They're still
Yeah.
winning Game of the Year awards. The BAFTAs
Mhm.
gave them the best game of show.
Right.
That was just recently.
Really?
Yeah. But because John brought it up, even if he didn't mean to, because he was just using it as a reference, you touched on Skyrim.
I did.
There's been some
yes.
there's been some there's been a troll video out there, but there's also been rumors going around that because it's been so long since Skyrim, Bethesda might have possibly handed the game off to a second team that is being overseen by the original team. Do you guys think that with the fact that Bethesda is doing another conference, do you think that we see Elder Scrolls V, like the true continuation, not online, the true continuation of Elder Scrolls, or not 5, 6, Elder Scrolls 6?
I don't.
6, yeah.
Not
I think
not this
we'll
year.
see either 6 or we'll see. I think we'll see. I think we'll hear something either about it or they'll say something. Because remember, Fallout 4 started out as a port of Skyrim. You think maybe they'll continue that, or do you think they just scrap that and work on 6?
I think they were working on 6.
I mean, the thing with I do think that it's possible for us to hear something about 6, but what they typically like to do with Elder Scrolls game, that's when they are rebuilding an engine. They typically like to announce brand new game engines with Elder Scrolls games for physics reasons or whatever, because one of the things that people love to do in Elder Scrolls is duplicate a million freaking wheels of cheese and roll them down hills, or I mean, like people like do crazy shit like that in Elder Scrolls, or go and rob an entire town of everything that's in the town, and then just go throw it at people just to watch the physics of it floating down a creek or something, or I mean, in the head with a freaking coat rack. Like I mean, that's what people do in Elder Scrolls games.
Yeah, I'm thinking not this year. I'm thinking they.
You don't even think that they'll mention it, like say, "Hey, this is happening."
I think it's more Bethesda's style to announce it the year that they're going to release it.
I mean, that has been tradition.
Especially with how well it worked out with Fallout.
Is Dishonored 2 supposed to come out this year?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Very
I wasn't
excited about
sure.
that. Very,
Sorry.
very excited
Yeah,
about
I
that.
am.
I still need to beat the first one.
You have
Yeah,
that
so do I,
opportunity,
actually.
seeing as we
I
have
know,
it.
I know. I have it. I have it thanks to you, which I actually forced you to buy it because of the fact that you were like, "Will you play this?" And I was like, "Yeah, buy it." And then you went and bought it, and I
Well, I mean,
made you spend $50 that I haven't used.
No, it was like $30.
Oh, that's
and I
right. 'Cause
have
you got
the-
the original copy.
Yeah.
I'll make it 20.
And in fact, I don't even think I spent that much. I think it was honestly only 20 for me.
John, I
Yes.
actually,
Yeah, if you had it on 360, then you had it. It was
And I
20
did.
bucks
I
on
played.
the
I
Xbox
played.
One.
I played through that game so many different times.
John, I
It
want to
was
touch
so
on
good.
something from the very,
Yeah.
very beginning of the cast when Carl was here.
Yeah.
That you were bringing up how what you've been doing this week is betas. I want
Yes.
you and anybody else that's done it, because I didn't get to. I want you guys to talk about freaking Battleborn. Talk about the Battleborn beta. Like, why
I
should somebody get this game?
I cannot talk about the Battleborn beta because I did not get to play it. I played it a little bit at E3.
I didn't play the beta. I played the alpha when it was not an alpha. I played the technical test like months ago,
Yeah.
So
And-
what?
but I didn't personally
Why?
get to play the beta.
I mean,
Okay.
honestly, it's a Borderlands take on MMOs. And
You mean MOBAs?
Or MOBA.
what the
Yeah.
fuck ever. I don't know. I think they're both lame. But
Things with an acronym.
yeah, it's all the same to me. I just for those of us who those type of games are foreign, it's a fun way to get into it without feeling like you're gonna get annihilated or messed around with because you don't play that game. You know, there's a whole community of those type of gamers that play there, and you can't really talk to them because you can't be a casual gamer and play some of those games. You know what I mean? And
It's
I feel like
it's
Battle.
like League or Dota.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like Battleborn, I think, is a bridge between all that because it's that type of game, but it doesn't take itself that seriously. I don't know.
But it's definitely a fun game.
Yeah.
If you just want to jump in and play a match or two, it's definitely fun. If you're trying to go hardcore, that's your
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. And it'll have a little bit of campaign elements to it. So
Yeah, it does have a campaign. That was part of the technical test. Was they had a bit of the campaign, and it was enjoyable.
I did see somebody
Felt like Borderlands.
playing. I pulled it up on Twitch and watched somebody play the campaign element of it,
yeah,
and that kind of because originally when I saw Battleborn and they said it was going to be a MOBA, regardless of the fact that it's from Gearbox, I was like, I'm sick of MOBAs. I don't care. go away.
right.
But when they said it had a campaign element to it, I was like, okay, this might be worth looking into. But it doesn't matter because apparently, John, you're getting it.
Yeah.
Then, I guess since we're talking about a game that's built by Gearbox Studios, do you guys think that we're going to see anything, because it will be after Battleborn's release, do you think that we're going to see anything about Borderlands 3, since they have
Well, they've already
Definitely.
confirmed it, and not only that, but some of the DLC will have Borderlands characters in it, and it'll have references to things that are going on in the Borderlands universe at this current
So you
rate.
think it's going to be part of the same universe as the story-wise?
the whole
Battleborn?
thing is Battleborn is multiple universes coming together and clashing together. So
Oh.
why not? Yeah. So why not throw in the Pandora universe and all that crap, since you have it at your disposal? So we'll see. We're definitely going to see a couple characters in the DLC. Who they are exactly has not been announced yet.
But do you think that
probably
we're going to see
gonna be Lilith.
Borderlands 3 at all at
And
E3?
Tiny Tina.
I think we will get a trailer of some sort.
I think so as well.
Yeah, I think we'll get a teaser trailer, or or Tiny Tina saying a whole bunch of random ass shit, which is just as good as a
That
trailer,
better
in
happen.
my opinion.
Claptrap and Tiny Tina?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Just,
They
With
go,
Will
tiny,
Puff.
just Tiny Tina.
well, they go at it or something. That'd be great, since Claptrap
Dude,
is
a
usually the
freaking dance
spokesperson.
battle between Tiny Tina and Claptrap to all the wub wub.
I mean, that's why that game is so fun. I mean, the possibilities are completely endless and absurd, and they're gonna find a way to make it hilarious. Which reminds me, I still need to finish the pre-sequel.
Dude, so do I.
I do too.
I never finished
I'm like
Borderlands.
right at the
2.
end.
Oh, are you? I haven't even started.
I
Really.
never finished 1 either. I finished 2, but not 1 or pre-sequel.
I beat both 1 and 2.
Yep, same here.
I need John to play the rest of 2 with me.
I'm more than happy. I've got plenty of characters at a lot of different levels.
You really?
Borderlands 2. Yeah. Oh yeah. I was telling I'd made a reference when we first started the podcast that I play Borderlands like Josh plays Halo.
Right. Yeah. You told me that.
John puts a lot of time into Borderlands.
It's just because it's funny. There's so much random ass stuff. You never know what you're gonna run into. And,
Like the
and that
basketball
makes
guy?
it worthwhile. Yes.
Who?
In Borderlands pre-sequel, there's a dude. He's trying to dunk a basketball, and so he jumps up onto a jump pad, says, "I love basketball," and flies into orbit.
Nice.
It's just that type of random stuff. Or like
Goddamn
Borderlands 2, where the
hilarious.
mission is kill me, and the whole mission is shoot a guy in the face, and that's it.
Or putting rockets on that teddy bear's badonkadonk.
Yeah.
I forget
Yeah.
the name.
That mission, the first one you meet Tiny Tina, and she's, oh, dude, that mission. Actually,
I
and then
mean,
the
Anything
whole,
Tiny Tina is the best.
Tiny Tina's whole expansion is amazing.
And not only that, but it's so serious. Like when you really think about it, it's her dealing with death, and
Yeah,
it's like it's really crazy. It's kind of messed up.
I think it's
But then
hilarious
it-
though
but
that
then
you
it's
have to
funny.
fight. That you actually have
Yeah.
to fight Butt Stallion.
Yeah.
That's not how Roland speaks. Well, it is, and I'm voicing him.
That's great. It's good stuff. So you've heard our E3 predictions
Did we
and
hear from
announcements. We did.
Yeah.
We did.
We'll
Ryan
talk about
said what's
Mass
up.
Effect.
I think this is as good a place as any to wrap it up for the week. Thank you very, very much, as always, for listening. A special thank you to Carl Diamond, again, owner and operator of LA Entertainment Exchange. You can follow him at LA_EEX on Twitter and Instagram. We will definitely have him back because he's a great guy.
Dude, we're gonna have to. He's gonna have to tell us about all those stories about the crazy freaking
and he's got
people he
plenty.
gets in the store.
That's basically all we do is we sit around and talk crap. It's awesome. And definitely thanks to the guys. You can follow us at cleverlynamedgames.com. Tune in, listen, follow us on Twitter, say what's up. We're trying to get more active again, gearing up. PJ will be our representative at E3. I am trying to sneak my way in still, but we will definitely be covering that in the coming month.
One last thing before we go, John.
Yeah.
We can sign off with it. I want to make this kind of because you were talking to Carl about it. I think it'd be a really cool thing for new content. Is that you said Carl is, he's a gamer's gamer. He can tell people about stuff. I think what we should end with is tell people about one game that they should go play that they might not have heard of.
Oh.
Does something just to get people out there playing stuff that they might not usually play.
That's a good. Actually, I like that. I like that a lot. You know what, Joey? Let's start with you, man. You've got your ear on the pulse of stuff we never hear of.
Put me on the
Dude,
spot.
it doesn't have to be from current gen. It can be from anything.
It can be anything. Anything. Sky's the limit.
I would say one of the old Tomb Raider games because I remember you mentioned the Sega Saturn earlier. I had a Sega Saturn way back in the day. I was like 5 or 6, and I had Tomb Raider. It wasn't the first one. It was one of the ones after that. I don't remember which one, but I remember playing the absolute shit out of that game. I think it was Dark Angel. Maybe. If that was on the Saturn, then yeah, that's the one.
I think that was it.
But definitely the old Tomb Raider. Definitely the old Tomb Raider games because those were great.
Nice. Ryan,
and
anything?
Not a lot of people have played the really older ones.
Awesome.
Sorry.
Ryan, anything in your old databanks that brings back fond memories?
My old databanks.
Or your new ones. Whatever you've been really digging. There's no wrong answer, man.
All right, so for an old game, I'll go. I think that too many people haven't played Diablo 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that would agree with you.
A lot of people played 3, but not so many people played 2, and 2 was so good.
Nice.
So, I loved 3, but 2 was amazing.
Very cool.
But from new things that a lot of people haven't played, and this is a redneck as hell answer, but Farming Simulator is actually really good.
Nice.
It's actually a really good simulation game. I've sunk hours into it. It's something you can do, listen to music or podcast or whatever, and just kind of chill and plow some fields.
Dig it. Sometimes things just need to be that simple. I love it.
You can just plow shit. Just plow the shit out of shit.
You can just plow shit. A very Donald Trump-like answer. Just have some beer and plow shit.
That's what I like to do.
Hey, no worries. We all got our.
Will we see a review for that, Ryan?
Yeah.
The review's gonna be just
I think
10 out of 10.
I think no.
It's got the review, the tagline.
I don't think a single person here should be talking about reviews. Myself.
The review tagline's gonna be plowing shit has never felt so good.
Well, guess what? That was my review. I just did it.
Nice. Josh, what do you got?
Well, Brian did 2. I'll do 2. If you haven't at 360, PlayStation 3, Binary Domain. It was a really it was a Sega game. It was kind of one of those games that they just made to get money out there. If you can find it, pick it up, play it. I believe it is backwards compatible on the 360 right now. Or on the Xbox One, I believe it's backwards compatible. Really, really awesome game. Great physics for destroying like robots and whatnot. And then another one going back even older, Xbox One, Sudeki. If you can find a copy, pick that up, play it. Sudeki was an awesome game. It's one of those RPGs that I wish that I could play.
Nice.
I remember owning a copy for forever, thinking it would eventually become backwards compatible on 360. Never did.
Very, very cool. Good one.
If you guys are gonna throw in two, I'll throw in a second one. Christopher Myers' Bedlam on the Xbox One.
Say it again.
It's Christopher Brookmeyer's Bedlam.
Okay.
It's,
Never heard of it.
It's a smaller game, and it's.
Did
it's
they
really
remake
good. I've
that?
been playing it a lot lately. I don't know. It's
I
definitely
believe
worth
it
a check out,
is.
though, 'cause it's
I believe it is some sort of remake.
I was gonna say I thought I saw that on the Xbox One.
I'm playing through it right now.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
cool.
That's what I was talking about on the Xbox One.
Okay.
Like not the original Xbox, the Xbox One.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Right on.
John,
Yes.
you want to educate some
if you-
people with some retro
If you,
games?
no, if you can, I'm actually not going back quite as far as you would probably think, seeing as I'm the old man of the group. But one of the
Atari.
you're an idiot. Jade Empire.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Jade.
Isn't that BioWare game?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is that BioWare game.
It's the
It
one
could have.
BioWare game people.
Could have
people
been the Mass Effect before Mass Effect. And still to this day, probably one of my favorite action RPGs of all time. Set
Probably
in
would have been a lot bigger. Sorry, go ahead.
at the time. No, you're fine. It could have been a lot bigger, but timing based. It's a cult classic among gamers. If you have a 360, you can still get it. It is one of the reasons I'm very sad that my 360 broke at the same time as my Xbox One, because I can't play it anymore. I
You want
hope.
one? I can ship it to you.
Yeah, we can talk after the podcast.
Actually,
Anyway.
PJ has like 5 of them. He should ship you one.
PJ the hoarder.
No, but I was gonna say is
I only
it could
have
been
one
bigger
360 right
if they
now.
hadn't.
Mm.
That Jade Empire could have been a lot bigger if they hadn't released Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic either.
That's true.
Or
Right
shortly
after that,
after, I'm
it
not
was the
sure.
second.
No, Star Wars was
Yeah.
before it. Star Wars was before it.
Yeah, but it was. I thought Jade
Was it?
Empire was between 1 and 2.
It was between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Either
but
way, that
either-
game,
Yeah.
Star Wars really kind of overcut it
So-
or overshadowed it.
So that's my big one. That's one that people know and they're like, oh, that remembers. Another game also on the 360 that I played and loved, and I have to give a shout out to one of my fraternity brothers, Jeff Beck, who actually shipped it to me and was like, you have to play this game. Azura's Wrath.
Oh yeah.
I heard of that.
So good.
I played that.
It's basically the dude version of Bayonetta. You know, it's an action game, beat 'em up, side scroller where you play an angry ass god, and I can't even remember why he's so pissed off, but he just breaks everything. He runs around.
He wasn't a god. He was a general that was betrayed by his allies, and he got brought back as a vicious, vengeful deity type dude, and he had to get revenge on I think either the dudes who betrayed him or his descendants. I don't remember which.
It was all of that and just as confusing. I beat the game and I couldn't tell you what the story's about. But it's freaking awesome. it's so good. The combat system was absolutely amazing. The set pieces were completely over the top. I think there's one point where he punches through a planet or something. I can't remember.
That was in the demo
there-
for it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the closest you can to being Goku and not remembering like
He looks like
Dragon
Goku.
Ball Z.
White
Yeah.
hair. It's like
Yeah.
a cross between Goku and Akuma.
But dope game. Azura's Wrath. That would be mine.
All right, so PJ, since I know you're hanging out, give us 2 games.
$20, somebody can bet it. Guess it.
Oh
Spelunky.
God, Spelunky. One.
Spelunky.
Yeah, everybody in the world needs to play Spelunky. The game is fucking awesome.
Although now that I'm
Oh.
playing Broforce, I think I understand what it is because Broforce is hilarious.
Broforce is Broforce is super simple though, and like super easy.
Yeah, true that.
So other than Spelunky, PJ, what would your second one be?
I don't think.
Dude.
Come on, you're
Try.
not that much younger than me, dude.
I know,
plenty
but
of experience.
my memory is way worse. Dude, I'm trying to think of something. I mean, dude, go play college football 14. Just fucking.
Yeah, absolutely.
while they're working their issues out.
Exactly. Go play the last. Right. Honestly, there's probably better ones than that, but probably a lot harder to find.
I miss NCAA.
But yeah, college football, pretty much any of the NCAA footballs. Just go play that. If either that or go try and find a 2K NFL 2K game.
NFL 2K8.
Yeah, go find
No,
one
wait,
of the.
2K5. NFL 2K5.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't think it made it all the way to 8. But yeah,
it's got a picture of Terrell Owens doing a one-handed catch on the cover.
That sounds about right.
It must be old.
Oh, dude, it's old, but it's one of the best damn football games I've ever played.
All right, and then our boy Casey in the chat says Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn.
Play Path of Radiance first.
I've heard it. Yeah,
Path of
Radiant Dawn
first.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's our input from the chat.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's the one with
Thank you, Casey.
From Smash Bros. For anybody who cares.
No, that's really dope. For those of us that would like to play Fire Emblem like myself, that's a great recommendation. Because, that's the only way I know those characters is through Smash Brothers.
Yeah. And that's the only character that we can legit play as in a Fire Emblem game without having to emulate the older ones or whatever. Because Marth and Roy their games haven't been localized, which really makes me sad.
Interesting. Well, I think that'll do it for us today. Thank you again to everybody for listening. Shout out to Casey for that one. Great recommendation. Awesome.
Sorry that I kind of brought that topic up. We'll make sure that becomes a thing, so that way everybody can kind of look into their history going forward and get some stuff to pull out for you guys.
That is very cool. Tweet your questions, comments, and concerns at CNT Podcast again, or shoot an email to us at podcast@cleverlynamedgames.com. Like us on Facebook. We're actually on Facebook quite a bit. Say what's up. Drop some knowledge on us too. We are a community of gamers, and we are very much about you, the community.
Teach us some knowledge.
Yes. We are all into this together. Do it respectfully. Hang out when we're online, or don't a little not respectfully. Once you get to know us, make sure
I can handle
it. Make sure you test the waters.
Now just jump into the warm water.
Oh, okay. All right. As always, I love the way these end. We will catch you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good night.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
My name is PJ, and I like presents.